Welcome to the Tinmore Podcast, the most exciting podcast in the history of podcasts. Are you epic? Are you an epic gamer? Cause we are. I am joined by Mecca
Me.
and Milkai.
Hello.
That's him. Us epic gamers are going to explore the coolness of epic gamer Tintin. Episode 3, Tintin in America.
Oh my god.
Patriotic as we now are. Welcome. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now
Okay,
it's just gonna be like so boring. Like
3 is interesting. Well, not really. Well, actually, it is. Okay, so
sound like you're
I'm
going to
gonna
like
try
have. Where's your PowerPoint? Give us that PowerPoint. Yeah. Go on with the history.
Okay. Should I start or?
Yeah.
Okay. So, his boss, Herjay's boss, let him pick the country that he wanted Tintin to travel to, and it was America because Herjay was apparently like obsessed with the Native Americans at the time. Yeah, when he was a Boy Scout.
America.
Yeah. And so this guy, okay, so his boss, he wanted like less Americans in it, and Herjay wasn't pleased with that. So but they also made America bad, like made America look bad.
Mhm.
Yeah. And I
Yeah.
think that was like from his boss. Yeah, I think that was like his boss's fault. That was on his boss. And so when it was serialized in America, or like, yeah, when it was done in America, America like made Hergé remove all the black background characters. And like, yeah, it was
Nice.
not good.
Yeah.
And yeah. And so Hergé wasn't happy about it. Anyways, without further ado, let's read the book.
Let's jump into this awesome gamer book. Whoa.
Might I just say that as an American, I find this comic to be fine. Just letting you know.
No, you had to go like, I found this very offensive. Delete this. I'm
I mean,
offended.
it was supposed to make America look bad for some reason. I don't know. I just read that.
Yeah. Yeah.
'cause
Okay.
Personally, I didn't live back then, so I don't know.
You didn't. Such a noob. Only 90s kids will remember. Yeah. Let's just jump into it, gamers.
Who wants to start?
Nice. Yep. Okay. Mecca, you will start.
As an American, I should be the first one to read it, I guess.
That's offensive.
Okay. So it starts out, it's like, hey, Chicago, right? There's all these like gangsters and all that. And then you see this meeting of guys. They're like, well, Tintin just went over here to clean up and he just ruined our diamond smuggling in the Congos. Do something about that, all right? And they're like, yeah, sure. So Tintin arrives, he gets off the train and this cab, he's like, oh, can you take me to the Osborne Hotel? And they're like, yeah, sure. And he gets in, puts these shutters over the window, and Tintin's like, that's kind of weird. We're locked in here. And they're driving along, and the cab gets like a flat tire, and he's like, oh crap, well that's just the last thing I need. And he gets out and he changes the tire, and he starts driving off.
Yeah, but like when he's changing a tire, for me in my version, his head is completely like yellow. Like it's like his head is so yellow like a lemon. Like his hands are like normal. Wait, no. On the next picture, his hands are yellow and his head is fine.
Yeah.
What a weird guy.
Yikes.
I like that sometimes.
Yikes, gamers. Yeah. Go on.
So then we see Tintin. He's like holding a saw in part of the car. He's like, luckily I packed the right kit. And then he explains that he cut his way out of the car with like this tiny saw. Because I know personally, as an American, I take my pockets everywhere.
Yep. That's so normal.
Yeah. He's walking back down the road toward Chicago, and he happens to like come across these police guys, and he waves them down, and he's like, "Those guys just tried to, or that guy just tried to kidnap me. Do you think you could like arrest him or something?" And they're like, "Of course, Tintin." So Tintin gets on the motorcycle with them, and they're like chasing after him.
Wee woo, wee woo.
Yeah.
Gamer police.
You suck at video games. Pull over. So they like pull him over, right? And they're arresting him. And Tintin's like, "Hey, why'd you kidnap me?" And he's like, he's basically explaining he was paid off to do it, and he was gonna deliver Tintin to this place. And Tintin's like, "Hey, what place?" And the guy's like, "The Rendezvous," as if Tintin knows that. And then he's like, "Okay, well, to show you that I'm not a bad guy, I'll tell you where it is." He actually says, "Spill the beans," which is so funny. So then we see this mysterious person lurking behind the trees.
Well, that's a gamer. Whoa.
Yeah.
Are you prepared for gamer action? I don't think you are.
So then this mysterious guy like beans the driver in the face with a boomerang. You know, the cops in Tintin, they notice.
Yeah.
And they like get in the cab to chase after the guy. And
Yeah.
Tintin's like hanging on to the side.
Yeah. Like
God.
in my version, he says like 2 words. He says thank you and goodbye. And it's so weird because like it's a Danish book, but he says thank you and goodbye.
Yeah.
And that's the only 3 words he says.
Like when he leaves.
Mhm.
Yeah,
on the motorcycle.
goodbye. See
He
what
says,
you sign, gamers.
In my version, he says "bye, suckers." He
Wait.
literally says that. Yeah, literally.
See ya, suckers.
See what you sign. Yeah. Goodbye.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See ya. So they're like chasing after him, right? And they get into the city, and they pass like the how do I explain this? There's like this other road that's like coming into the road they're driving on, and this person, he's like a gangster, right? And he pulls out and hits the taxi they're driving. So Tintin is taken to the hospital, and then he gets out like a couple days later. He's like, "Oh, I'm so glad that I wasn't fazed by that or whatever." And he's fine, of course he is. And he's standing on the sidewalk waiting for us. And then the sidewalk just like drops out underneath him.
Whoops.
And these guys like
Sidewalk EXE has stopped working.
apparently.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
weird that he just like stands on top of that like single tile that is like so different.
I know.
Coincidence?
I think not.
They're lucky he was standing there, like
Yeah.
seriously.
We planned
How
that.
did they know? How did they know he was gonna stand there and like pre-place that tile?
Watching
They
him.
have that everywhere.
Apparently.
And they have 2 guys under every single one. There's like 5 million. So they have just 10 million like gangsters just like standing on every single.
So then Tintin gets knocked over the head by these gangsters who are like in the room that he dropped into. Of course he gets knocked over the head. Why wouldn't he have? And so they carry him up these stairs and they put him on the couch. And it's so funny. He's just taking a nap.
Yeah.
I know.
Like, and Tintin wakes up and they're like, "Hey, chill out. The boss, he's a coming.
The boss is coming.
The boss."
Watch out.
Why does he look like, I don't know, he looks like a damsel in distress every time he gets knocked down and carried.
What?
Like when he's carried up the stairs, he looks like, he looks so elegant.
Yeah, like he's fainting.
Yeah, even when he's passed out, he just looks like a damsel.
He looks so dainty.
Yeah.
I see what you mean, but yeah,
That's such a dramatic pose, honestly. I guess it's part of it is that the way they're carrying him, but still, like,
It's so cute. Or in my opinion.
it's cute.
What an opinion. A guy looking cute while he's like knocked out. Yeah.
Ooh.
Woo. Yeah, go on, Megan.
The boss comes in and he's like, it's that famous reporter, the little kid with big ideas. And then he introduces himself as Al Capone, because of course he does. And he pays the guys who like brought Tintin in. He like leaves the room with one of them.
Yeah, the first guy on that he's like giving like $10 million to, he looks so happy. Like when he's taking the money, he's like, he's so happy, he's so kawaii.
Hard day at work finally paid off.
Yay!
So they leave like the second guy in there to kill Tintin. And Tintin's like, well, I guess I'm done for. Snowy, he gets up. He somehow like climbs up. I think he's like standing on the door frame.
Yeah.
To, like, the mantle of the fireplace that's in the room. And he like pushes over a vase, his head, and knocks him out. And so Tintin takes the guy's gun. He goes up to the door and he's like looking through the keyhole. And meanwhile, the gangster, he like wakes up and he's like, I gotta like whatever. And he's like, well, I lost my gun, but this vase will be just a good weapon.
I lost my gun.
Lost my gun, but this makes
you found vase. Equip vase. Vase EXE is superior.
Is he supposed to be Italian or something?
So.
Okay.
These are like my favorite two panels ever.
Yeah.
Tintin, he like has no idea what's going on behind him. He has his ear against the door, and the guy's like behind him. The door swings open and pushes Tintin back, and the guy lets the vase fly, and he beans Al Capone in the face with the vase. That rhymed.
Yeah.
And that's the guy who threw the vase, and then runs off, and he's like, they're chasing after him, and he hides behind a curtain like a 5-year-old. Don't see him.
Yeah.
And so back to tie up the other two, and then he waits for the third guy to come back, and he hits him over the head with a chair. He goes to runs out, and he goes to the police officer, and he's like, I just caught Al Capone. And the guy's like, you're full of crap. And he like hits Tintin on the head. And
what a guy. You sound crazy. Bah! Then. Yeah.
And then Tintin keeps like insisting this guy comes with him because he captured Al Capone. And the guy just gets ticked off and is like chasing him. Tintin is like, he gets cornered, and there's like one on each side, like in front of him and behind him. And he's like, I'm cornered now, I guess. But then there's like this convenient alley that he ducks into, and the police officers run into each other. And so he's walking down the street, and Snowy catches up to him. And they're like, well, I guess we just go back to the hotel now. So, because, right?
Yeah. Oh, I'm like, the police is like looking for me. I'm gonna go back to the hotel.
Yeah. I just captured Al Capone, and the police don't believe me.
Yeah.
So I guess at this point, I go to the hotel.
Yeah.
And Tintin, he's walking up the stairs, and he's like, we should have been here days ago. Because he's been in the hospital and beating up gangsters and all that kind of stuff. Checks in, and they're like, oh, we're the guy behind the counter. He's like, oh, we were afraid we weren't going to see you, but we kept your reservation anyways. Because they know he's a protagonist and probably going to make it out okay. So he's like showed up to his room, and this gangster is sitting in the lobby. He's like, I gotta tell the boss right away because he sees Tintin.
That gangster in my book, he says like, there's that whippersnapper. Whippersnappers.
Amazing.
Yeah.
That young whippersnapper.
We're gonna kill that whippersnapper.
Whippersnapper.
Whippersnapper. Yeah.
So Tintin like goes up and there's like a letter leaning against the vase, and it's basically like, you need to get out of here, and if we don't see you on this ship, like, kill you or whatever, I guess, basically. So he rips up the letter. He's like, he's smiling. He's like, that's what I think of your stupid letter. And so it's the next day, and it's already past the time he was supposed to leave. And he picks it up and he's like, and he starts like saying hello, hello, and no one answers. This guy behind Tintin, and he's like, he was so busy with the phone he didn't hear me come in. And Tintin hangs up. He's like, they must have had the wrong number or something. I don't know. Like the mirror beside him, and he sees the reflection of the guy behind him. So he's like, oh well, guess we'll just
walk out the window.
He walks over to the window. He climbs out, and he like climbs along the building to the next window, and he like peeks his head in.
No.
The guy's like, the gangster, he's like, why doesn't he show himself? And Tintin's like, I'm right here. And then he is pointing his gun at him. And so then Tintin calls the front desk. He's like, I need the police because this guy tried to kill me, or he snuck in or whatever. And so the police come in and they're like, hey, don't worry, we've got this. And then they ask him to come to the station with them to like and stuff. And he goes, oh yeah, sure. So they get in the car, and I'd like to mention that the steering wheel is on the wrong side for an American car.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. Because I guess Hergé forgot when he was making this.
Yeah. I like always like question myself, like when I see like a person in a car that's sitting in the right side. I'm like, wait, my life is a lie. And I have to go like through like a crisis, like which side do they drive in?
Like the first time I ever saw I can't remember what it was, but it was like a series from a different country, and they were driving on the other side that I'm used to. I'm like, wait a minute, what? And I was just so confused, and I was like, oh yeah, they drive on the other side.
The car is on the right side, the right lane, but the driver is in the right side.
American cars, they like the driver's seat is on the left of the car.
Yeah.
So.
And it's a green car.
Yes, it's green.
Yes.
American doesn't like green.
Yes, it is. You can't change it.
We like red, white, and blue, thank you.
Freedom.
Yeah, Hergé, get it right.
Bad
we
comic.
Just have cars that are painted to look like the American flag. All of them.
Patriotic cows. Yeah.
So they get to the police station and they escort him into like this room. And it's so dumb because they have like this sign over the door that says police, and the guy takes, and it's like, this is the Gangster Syndicate of Chicago, because that's the kind of stuff you want to advertise on your door.
Wouldn't it be fun that like if they had like hashtag click not clickbait on the police?
Follow our Instagram.
Like and
hashtag not suspicious.
Oh yeah, by the way, if you're wondering if we have other social media, link in the description. We're real YouTubers now, guys.
Yeah, like and subscribe, everybody.
Yeah.
Hit
that bell. And the gift card giveaway. We don't have that.
No, we don't.
Yeah.
Just to clarify. Yeah. And he meets this guy, and the guy's like, "Hey, why don't you sit down and have a cigar?" And I also want to mention how short Tintin is in that
Yeah.
because like this guy
Yeah.
is sitting down, and Tintin isn't even taller than this guy's sitting height.
Yeah.
To be fair, the guy's sitting in a chair, which makes him a bit taller probably, but like, yeah, it's
Yeah.
I should
Either
get a
Tintin's really short or he's just really tall.
yeah. I should get a wheelchair. I can make like that excuse every time someone like says I'm short. Like, yeah, I'm in a wheelchair. Like, you don't
Mhm.
know my true height. I'm in a wheelchair.
yeah. So the guy introduces himself. He's like, "I'm Bobby Smiles. I'm boss of the rival gang fighting Al Capone." Because of course. And he's like, "I want to hire you. And if you kill Al Capone, I'll give you like 20 grand. And then he's like, "Okay, cool. Here's your contract." And Tintin's like, "Excuse me. Clean up Chicago, not to become a gangster myself." And he's like pointing a gun at Bobby Smiles. And Tintin's like, "I'm going to start cleaning up Chicago by arresting you." And this guy's like, "Oh, is that so?" And then he like hits this button on the floor with his foot, and Tintin falls down the floor again into this room. And because, yeah, apparently this happens a lot in Chicago.
Yeah.
I've never experienced that myself. So, you know,
Yeah.
just say.
It's weird he doesn't like break his leg, but when he falls down, like it looked like a pretty solid fall, but he's fine.
I guess it's like a pretty short fall, so, you know.
I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's and he never like gets not gonna get hurt from a fall. That's ridiculous.
I only heard when I'm shot. Hashtag CSGO gamer. Whoa.
Yep. He's in this room and he's like, "I've been tricked and now the room's filling up with smoke." Handkerchief to try and like block out the smell, but it doesn't work and he passes out with a gas mask on. And he's like, "Let's go." And so they take him to Lake Michigan and they're gonna like dump him in the water. They don't even like, okay, maybe they think he isn't gonna wake up. Tie his hands and feet together. Or like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they're hoping that he just drowns like that. Like
they would. Like, he wouldn't, like, I think, I don't know. Yeah. Like, depends.
It's their American way.
You up and fool! You thought you would die, but you didn't die. That we hoped you would die. You fool! We tricked you.
Yeah. So they
They
throw him
like
in like
don't. What? Oh no, they just don't have like a better way of killing Tintin. Like, can't they just shoot him in his sleep or something?
I don't know. I guess
Why
they
don't they
want to
just
grab
shoot him? Put
Yeah,
that on a
just
t-shirt.
shoot.
Just shoot him. Yeah.
It's like this henchman in the background. He's like, "Don't you think we should shoot him while he's sleeping?" And they're like, "No, the waterfront."
Yeah.
Apparently.
Yeah, that's a more effective way.
Why
it
did
was
they?
super effective.
They couldn't. Gamer knowledge. Whoa. If the guy like just took off the gas mask, he would know. They would know if like the gas was effective. Why didn't they
Well,
just do that? Like,
To be fair, it looked like it was pretty effective considering Tintin was just lying on the floor knocked out. So,
yeah,
you know.
I know.
maybe he just got really sleepy. And he was.
Yeah, he's like,
He had like 10 like little stuffed into that like napkin, so he was like "Ew, ew," to get him up and running. It didn't work, so he like.
"No."
Nice,
That'll
Mac.
be- that'll
Nice,
be
Mac.
explained.
Sorry.
I'm here to break the awkward silences. That's my job.
You're not very good at your job, clearly.
Why is it funny? It's not
Super awkward. Thanks.
You have one role, and you're like, I'm not
I'm
going.
the silent one. I mean, I would say something, but
Yeah, okay.
My job is that when I can tell it's getting awkward, yeah, and then we move on.
Yeah.
okay.
So,
Yeah, just go.
so Tintin gets thrown into Lake Michigan, and they drive back, and Bobby Smiles is like, "You guys are stupid. That was the wrong gas, and the cold water's gonna wake him up." And so they rush back, and they're like, they have their guns out, and they're like, "If you see him, don't miss." And the other guy's like, "I'm not stupid."
I am.
Tintin appears behind him, and he's like, "Reach for it!" And they put down their guns, and he has like finger guns, and he picks up their guns. He's like, "Thanks, I didn't have a gun on my own, so." And they're like, "Hi," and he's like, "No, I'm just calling the cops." And he fires the gun into the air, because as an American, that's how we call the cops.
Oh my
Anyway.
god.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the cops appear, because that's how you call cops in America.
Yeah.
But not actually, so like, please don't. And
Patriotic propaganda.
so Tintin, he tells the cops, like, "These guys are dangerous criminals, you might want to lock them up."
Okay, first of all, how do they not suspect that Tintin's the criminal? Because like Tintin's like holding the one that's holding the guns. So like, how can they tell if
Because
it's not Tintin?
he's Tintin. Everyone knows he's
I mean-
a good guy. Not like
I mean, yeah.
Timson and Thompson and Flumpson, those guys were like set on a mission to arrest him like 20 times now, but no.
That's
They're-
strange.
The American police, they know their shit. They know what to
They
do.
only respect gingers. I'm joking. Okay, carry on.
Yeah.
So the next morning, Tintin's in the newspaper for putting the gangsters away, and he's like sitting in the hotel room, and you see Bobby Smiles and this sniper, and Bobby's like, "Hey, that's Tintin. Take good aim and don't miss him." So the guy like fires his gun. "Hey, you got him. That's great."
Yeah,
He
and
pays the sniper.
isn't it weird that first of all the like gun, it doesn't have a scope, and it's like a machine gun, so it's not a snipe. It's not a sniper. Snipe, yes. So he's like, yeah. He
It's
can,
a machine.
yeah,
It's a sniper, but it's actually a machine gun.
yeah.
Plot
Bobby
twist.
Plot twist.
twist.
Fool,
The
you.
sniper was actually not a
Wait,
shotgun. What am I-
This is American Sniper. Ah, yeah.
Wow.
This is my favorite series.
Okay.
That's the origins. Anyways, so he's after Bobby pays him, and Tintin's like, "Wow, I'm glad we had those dummies, because otherwise we'd be like super dead." And Snowy's like, "Well, I'm glad it was those dummies, not us." And so Tintin, he's like, "Well, now that they think I'm dead, how about we arrange a surprise for them?" And Snowy's like, "I hope we use dummies again this time." So morning, and the gangsters hear of like this. It's they're like, "Hey,"
Whiskey?
they're-
Yeah.
yeah, they're like, "This mob is going to be running like a load of whiskey." This is like presumably during alcohol was illegal, so illegally smuggling whiskey and stuff.
And
Oh,
like
yeah.
the whiskey is like supposed to be sent to quote the coconut mafia.
Yeah.
Coconut. We should call this podcast like the Coconut Podcast.
You could say that they're nuts.
Oh,
Ba-da-da-da-da.
I'm here all week, I guess. Bad puns.
Comedy
Good job.
genius.
Okay, next.
My second job.
Moving on.
So, you see this car, and Tintin's in the passenger seat, and they have like these barrels in the back. So they're driving along the road, and they stop because there's a tree and a guy in the middle of the road. And then it's Bobby Smiles, and he points a gun at them, and he's like, "Get out of the car and no tricks." These men pop up out of the barrels, and they're like, "No, you put your hands up."
No, you.
And so they arrest him. Yeah.
Oh,
Nice.
You said.
You did it again.
Yeah. Guys. So the policeman is like saying to Tintin, like, "Hey, you did a really good job, and thanks to you, we got a big fish." It turns out that Bobby Smiles is leaving. He like got in a car and he's driving away. And they're like, "Oh, that sucks. Don't worry about it. I'll get him." And so it's a few days later, and telegrams about Bobby Smiles, and the telegrams are like, "Hey, people say they saw him in Redskin City, the Indian reservations," and so they hop on a train and they head over there. So, yeah.
Yeah.
This part's a bit dodgy.
Yeah. Redskin City, first of all. What a name. Yeah. Should I continue now?
Sure.
Okay. Yeah, so Tintin's like, oh, Redskin City. And he looks like so beautiful with his head. That's like so cool head. And he like sees this Native American like sitting like wrapped like a gift. Like and he looks so funny. Then
he's just
like
minding his own business.
Yeah.
Like,
who are you? Will you leave me alone, please? Yeah.
Like, is he also taking a picture of him?
I think, yeah.
I
Like,
think so.
he's saying, doesn't, I don't know. He walks by, like, two, like, cowboys, and they're like, what a weird guy. He, bad outfit. Then he goes into, like, this shop, and he's like, oh, I want to buy a new outfit. And he, like, the guy that's selling him it is like, last winter, the, bullet belt was supposed to be on the left side. Now it's on the right side. That just represents like, yeah, I'm a professional.
About fashion.
Yeah. We see like a Bobby Smiles assistant, I think, and he's like walking really fast, and he looks so funny. So he's like, "Hey, Mr. Boss, Tintin has just arrived." Tintin goes on to like get kicked in the head by a horse in the stable, which a funny guy told him to. Because he can't like use a car. No. He has to take a horse.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So he's like he goes on to like the savannah or whatever it is, and like yeah, and he like sees a like house, and wait, so he rides away. Then he sees another house, and the house is talking and saying, "Stop, Tintin." Wait, what?
What did you say?
I don't know.
There's a house and there's like Snowy. I don't know if Snowy is talking or like the house is talking.
I think it's Snowy.
I was like, wait, I need to process what you just.
But why is Snowy saying that they're there? Wouldn't that be like Tintin saying that? Because like, oh, a house just appeared. Oh, I did not see that, but my dog did.
To the house, and I think Tintin just doesn't say anything because it's obviously a house.
Yeah, but how did like Smiles guy? How did it stop? Cyberbully.
Sorry.
How did
Okay.
how did Bobby Smiles like get there? Like, so
Did
he
have
would
a
like,
horse, too?
yeah, but like he was like super duper fast at getting there.
I don't. Wait.
Well,
I
like
don't.
Tintin
Like
took
what?
a stop to get clothes and a horse between the time.
Yeah,
the
but when
assistant
he
was
actually
gone.
had his like clothes and outfit and cool game outfit, like Bobby Smiles, he was like he already what? Yeah, okay.
Huh?
I'm just going to continue.
Okay.
Yeah, so Bobby Smiles, he like takes his horse that's very similar to Tintin's horse, and he like they going like an epic gamer chase, and Smiles is like shooting at him. So Tintin like tries to throw a rope at him, but it
Mhm.
gets like the horse trips in the ropes.
Yeah.
So the horse falls over, and Tintin's like wrapped in rope. So Tintin goes on to starve, and that's the end of the series. The end.
Thanks, everyone.
Yeah. No, he doesn't. So Bobby Smiles, he's like finds his like uh, native people. Yeah, native people, and he's like, "Good day to you, Mister Redskin." And he's like, "Hey, you better watch out for Tintin. He is dangerous." Yeah. So he's like, "Oh, let's kill him." Then Tintin like rides on. Next day. Wait, no.
I think it's just later because Tintin took a while to untangle himself.
Yeah. So it's like, yeah. So Tintin like settled, and he has like this bonfire, but then Smiles, he like trips over an axe, and then they're like, "Yay! This is so good because now we can kill Tintin and run after him because of this one axe." Then they like decide to chase Tintin, like the cavalry, and Tintin's like, "Oh, nice. We seem to be welcome." And then the Redskins are like, "Meh." They go up to him and like, "Meh. Meh."
Oh, that's the face he makes.
Yeah. Meh.
I like what Tintin says. He's like, this is a very strange welcome.
Yeah. Yeah, so they like time up to this.
Lamau.
Yeah. They tie him up to this pole, and he's like, "This is pretty weird. Some funny like plays you're doing." Yeah, so they're like, "You are stupid, you Tintin." They're like, "What are you talking about? We will now execute him." Oh, that doesn't seem very fun. They throw an axe, and it's like they doesn't hit. Yes, English 101. They don't hit, and he's
Yeah.
like, "No, this is not fun anymore." Then he finds like
He finally realized it's not a joke.
Yeah, he like finds this like rocks or something, and like fires it at the superior guy. And
Tintin says that it's resin, but
yeah, all that. Then the superior guy. What is he actually called? Isn't he like
it said earlier. Hold on, let me find it.
uh bad watching mole rat? I do not know how to translate that word.
Let me try and find it.
It's on
'cause-
the next picture when like the blue shirt is like picking up that thing.
Picks up the hatchet.
Yeah. No, like 4 pictures ahead. Yeah, never mind. Okay, so he's like that guy, the superior guy, he like sees a kid and he's like, "You stupid kid, bah! Hit one over the head. Critical strike." And he's like, "How dare you shoot at me?" then like the assistant of the superior Redskin is like, oh, he shot you with this thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So he's like, oh, you did it again. Then the brother of the blue shirt, he's like, how dare you? So he hits the superior Redskin. That's not racist. I do not know the word to call that guy.
I think
Uh,
the guy's name is
the
he's like the
what?
chief.
Yeah, chief guy. So
Mhm.
they like all fight, and Tintin like, on he like gets free, and he like runs off. So then what was his name actually again? Smiles guy. He like
Yeah.
you shoots at him. He sees Tintin like run away. He's like bang, 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 and so he like runs off a cliff because you can but he gets caught in like with like a branch ish. So he saved again. So he like falls onto this like little enclave in the rocks. But then Billy smiles. Is like he shoots Snowy in the what? So he also falls down to Tintin.
Mhm.
Then they find like a tunnel and a big room, and then they crawl up again. So it's like a tunnel. It goes down into a big room. It doesn't seem very like realistic. There shouldn't be much oxygen, but okay. Yeah. So they crawl up and onto so they see like push a rock. Like Tintin like pushes a rock where Smiles is sitting, and he like falls over. So Tintin's like up again. Then Smiles is like, oh no, a ghost. Tintin's ghost. So he proceeds. Smiles is like, oh, chief guy. Tintin is over here. Shoot him, fire him. So they're like, we will now catch him. We don't believe in ghosts. Then the chief is the chief, and like 15 other people is like, they all go down to find him in that cave or whatever it is. And they're like, no, okay. We everyone get up. But then they see like the last guy, he's like unconscious. So he must have like hit him, like knocked him out. Tintin knocked him out.
I think they thought it was Tintin.
Oh yeah.
And so they knocked him out and didn't realize it was him. Or
Yeah.
it wasn't him, I guess.
Yeah. Then they move this like big rock over the hole so Tintin can't get out. And they put like this this guy on top. He's also wrapped, but he has like a gun. So he's like, this will help. Tintin's like down in that cave, and he like takes all the bullets and takes like all the gunpowder out of them to make like the DIY bomb. Takes the bomb and he sets it off, but it doesn't work, and just said poof, poof. So he digs. So he decides to dig, and for some reason there's oil.
Yep.
I don't know how.
Like when the bomb, it like uncovered an oil, whatever.
Yeah, it could, but that's like a big delay. But like there's oil somehow. And then like this businessman is like, hello, can I buy this plot of land? For $5,000. So Tintin's like, how did you get here so fast? Yeah. Us businessmen, we know our way to our oil. So then another guy comes up and says like, oh, I will buy this plot of land for 10,000 and 50,000 and 100,000. And Tintin's like, oh, sorry, but I in fact do not own this land. So it's like the chief guy, he like owns it. So they say, get out of here. You may leave for $25. That seems very fair. So they
Huh.
go to like establish like a like oil reserve and stuff. But Tintin next day Tintin is back in the city, and he has this weird outfit on still, cowboy outfit. And the officer is like, "How dare you have that on? You fool! You dare equip such bad outfit?" And he's like, change that now, or we'll fight you." So he goes like to the train because he doesn't seem to have anything else to do. But he sees like Bobby Smiles. He's aboard the train. The Tintin's like, "Stop the train!" But then Tintin like takes the train. He takes another train.
He
Theft.
borrows one.
Yeah. Yoink. My train now. So he like tries to so he keeps on driving the train, and he like goes in the front so he can jump off on. But then a guy at the station, he like, as soon as the train with Bobby Smiles has passed, that's like 5 meters, and he changes the what's that called, the rails, so Tintin would get derailed off to another rail. Yeah. So he like, so he missed and drives over a guy with a horse. Seems pretty brutal, but yeah. So he's like, let me see, like these two guys with like a big rock in the rails, and he's like, "Oh, that's great! It's great that the train isn't coming because we gotta destroy this rock." Yeah, it's lucky. Smile. Why it says smile, I do not know. And Tintin's like, "Bah! Jump scare. Jump scare." So he gets exploded because they like put like some dynamite on the rails behind the rock.
I think it was like in front, or like after the rock, it would have been in front of the train.
Yeah. So he drives in. No, like the rock like explodes, and he drives onto like a wagon of dynamite. So he explodes, and it's really big and it's really sad, and there's like train parts everywhere. And Tintin's like, "Hello, hello." He's up in the tree, and that guy with the horse that got ran over earlier, he's like also up in the tree. So Tintin's like, when he gets down, he's like, where my dog?" And the guy with the horse, he's like, "Have you seen my horse?" So they find Snowy. And then Tintin's like, "Oh, I gotta go on and proceed to find that Bobby Smiles." Yeah, so Tintin, we see like this like bank owner. He's like, "Oh, everything got stolen." And the like sheriff, he's like, "Oh, here's the footprints." And they like run on their like police horses, and they see this guy. He's like, Madre de Dios. My like foot trails, like shoes, are leaving a trail so they can find me. So he sees Tintin, who is sleeping, and he steals his shoes, and he's like, "Oh, I am now the
Oh my god.
I am now the bad guy. Woof! I am the bad guy." So he's like, the policemen are like, "Wee woo, hey Tintin, stop! You have stolen everything from the bank." So he gets stolen back. That's the word now. He gets stolen back to the city, and every citizen is like, "Oh, hang him! He is stupid." But like the police is like, "Yep, okay, he will now die. We can save him."
Kid book.
What?
For children.
Yeah, he just is going to die. So but they try to hang him, but they can't. Like the rope breaks, and the people are like, you're so weak, you stupid man. You are so weak. You cannot even lift Tintin and a dog. Okay, I gotta read everything here. We see like this police officer. He's like drinking his whiskey, and yeah, Tintin's like getting like hung. I gotta save him. Blah 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 blah. He doesn't really have anything to say. So Tintin's like, they can't hang. They can't like kill Tintin. So he like falls, and there's like a big fight. But Tintin gets out. And this like big chase is like after Tintin because he's criminal still. And Tintin's like, when like this guy, blue shirt, another guy, one of the guys that tried to hang him, he runs under the tree branch that Tintin's up in and falls down. He like jumps down and kills him, like Assassin's Creed 17. Spoilers.
Sorry, we just spoiled Assassin's Creed.
Whoopsies. Yeah, so Tintin's like, oh, I'ma just sleep here in the middle of the woods. So he sees like, oh, a tiger and a bunch of animals, and we see a turtle.
Another turtle.
Yeah. If you listen to the last episode, you would know what that is.
Oh yeah, I get it. Okay,
Yeah.
I get it. I just got it.
Oh, and it's funny. Yeah.
It followed him from the Congos.
Yeah. Okay, so Tintin's like, oh, the fire is burning. And there's, on this next picture, there's like a bear right behind him and some geese. And it looks so funny because they're all like, no, we need to get away. But the fire is faster than Tintin. Somehow. So he like runs, and it looks like his legs are on fire, but they aren't. So he jumps in the river, where the fire will stop. And he sees this railway. And he's like, oh, we will follow this. And conveniently, or unconveniently, that's now a word. There's like this like big log, like square log, blank. Words 10 out of 10. So he like, oh, this is a pretty log thing. 10 out of 10 voice acting. So he like, oh, he doesn't really do anything. He just stares at it, and then like a rope gets thrown at him, and it's Billy Smiles. You fool!
No.
The trickery. You fell for the oldest trick in the book in the trick. So he's like, oh, we knew you would come here. They probably didn't.
Yeah.
I think it was more an accident, and they're like, okay, well, we'll just change our plans so you can get killed.
Yeah. So they like tie him to the rails, and because you die due to the rails. So the train's coming, and that's like some cool cinematic views actually. But like someone like pulls in the emergency brake, but it's an old woman. She's like, Mr. Train Guy, I saw a animal attacking an animal. Translation 10 out of 10. So she's like, oh, so like the train man is like, oh, it wasn't an emergency. You will get a fine of $50. Go on with the train. So Tintin's like,
Oh my god.
What?
Okay, it's just like he's so lucky.
Yeah.
Like,
so Tintin's like, he's right like 20 centimeters from the train. So he's like, hello. The train operator, he's like, oh, why are you tied to the rails? That's a weird idea. Why would you do that? So he's like, so lucky. So he actually survives. And then Billy Smiles next day. He's like, Tintin survived. So Tintin's like, he's on foot again. And he like knows where Billy Smiles is. So he like can see where he is, basically. So you can find him everywhere. He can't, but he just seems to find him everywhere.
He has
So
a tracking device on Bobby.
yeah, GPS. So he like climbs on up this mountain-ish cliff or whatever it is. And the smile is like, hey, you fool! I have a book in the trick again! So he floats up this rock cliff, big rock thing, so it would fall into a down on Tintin. And he's like, my master plan. So he cheers for Tintin because now he is dead. He like drinks like his he drinks something. Milk. Let's just say that.
Black water.
Yeah, black water.
It's part of the void.
Yeah. To fill his to fill his soul. Yeah, so Tintin's like he gets like a flashback to see what he actually did. So Smile takes like the evil guy. He takes his bottle and he's like, "I'ma kill you with this bottle." But Tintin's like Lucky Luke and shoots the bottle so he can use it and ties him up. Because Smiles is like, what do I do now? So he like gets tied up because he's so bad. So Tintin's like, yes, hello. I have. Wait, no. Tintin has shipped Spilly Smiles in a case. He shipped him with the mail in like a big box, wooden box.
Yeah.
What a guy. What a legend.
That's great.
Yeah. Put that on a t-shirt. Put that on like a poster.
He even put a pillow in there.
Yeah.
And grass.
Like straw or something.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, so
okay, never mind.
Consider it.
Yeah. Melguy, will you go on now? I am.
Okay. So, the next day, the next morning, basically the same thing. Everyone's clamoring to get Tintin on like their talk show or whatever.
Mhm.
Podcast.
Yeah, because podcast. Okay. So, and they're paying him like all this stuff, and he just runs away because he's Tintin and he doesn't work like that. Or maybe, I don't know, he just doesn't say anything. He just goes off without a word. And there's this letter he sees on a chair. Poor chair. Why would they do that? If you want, so it says, if you want to see your dog again alive, well, it's supposed to be your dog alive again, but it says again alive. The price is $50,000. If you agree, put a white handkerchief in your window. Otherwise, ... And so he calls like a detective. And like he's really impatient, so he just like paces around. And then the detective like he says all this stuff that's really ridiculously specific.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. Or like, do you guys have any favorite parts? I don't know. It's just kind of funny. Anyway, do you?
Wait, no. The detective says, quote, "The man that stole your dog is 33 years old, and 6 weeks old. He talks English and with a Scandinavian accent. He smokes a cigarette from Paper Dollar. Not sponsored.
Actually, in
what?
my version, he says it's an Eskimo accent.
Oh, that's weird.
Wears an undershirt and has matching garters. Easily. Why does he know like his undergarments?
Yeah, and he has like a tattoo on his left shoulder.
Yep. Tattoo.
Yeah. I don't know.
And he says more stuff. He says more stuff about like who he is.
And he
Tintin's like question mark. He like what?
He's Yeah, I don't know. He has like
Oh, okay.
yeah, he has too many too much information.
He's pulling
Yeah.
stuff out of his behind.
What? Wait, what?
This guy's just pulling stuff out of nowhere.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
No, he looked it up on Wikipedia. Not sponsored either.
Okay, so Tintin's like, wow, that was impressive. What powers of deduction? And then yeah, then an hour later, he comes with all these dogs. Yeah, and he's like, oh, the good lady certainly didn't spare the. And wait, no, that was Tintin. Okay, and and then he's like, that was the attacker. That wasn't a good lady. And oh wait, what the hell?
Okay, yeah.
What am I
So he
reading?
knocks on the door, and Tintin's like, "Come in," and he's like, "Hello, here is your dog," and it's like it's not Snowy, it's like a long brown dog, and this like lady comes in, purple lady, and she's like, "Oh, you stupid man, that's my dog, Mirza. You may now take over Milkai."
Okay, sorry.
No problem.
I keep just reading all this stuff. Okay, and then he just grabs the attacker again. And then he goes out to, I don't know, find him.
Mhm.
And then Tintin just paces around waiting for him to come. Then he brings all these dogs that aren't Snowy. Wait, well there's one that actually does
Yeah,
look like Snowy,
but it's like
but it's
ears
not.
is like bent.
Yeah. And so Tintin's like, get the hell out. Okay. Yeah. So okay. Is that supposed to be Tintin? No, that's okay. That guy, he looks a lot like Tintin, the guy handing out the newspapers. Or is he? No,
What?
that is Tintin.
Yeah.
Oh shoot. Plot twist. Okay.
Twist. It's fine though.
Yeah. He keeps changing his clothes. Ugh. It's just so
Guys.
okay. Yeah. It's
Yeah.
in disguise. So then he comes to like a bar.
Mhm.
I don't. Yeah, he follows the guy into a bar, I guess. And then he's like, this must be the building where they're holding Snowy
Yeah, and
hostage.
isn't it weird? Like the bar, it's like called quote Gangsters United, secret alcohol factory. Uh,
Wait,
we
really?
yeah.
In my version, it's just the Moonshine Club.
Oh,
Yeah, same.
Gangsters United.
They like to advertise.
Yeah,
So silly.
yeah.
Okay, so then, what? Okay, he hears like a baby crying, but it sounds like Snowy. I don't know how that would sound like Snowy because
Right?
babies cry and dogs bark. And this confirms a theory that Snowy actually sounds like a baby when he barks. Every
But
time
that's
he barks.
just a theory. Our film theory.
Maybe just sounds like a dog when it's crying. Either way.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah, well, either way, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
And like, there's this long when he's going up the stairs. There's like a bunch of like unnecessary panels of him going up.
Yeah,
the stairs.
he like goes to like 17 different like emotion. He's like,
Exactly. Yeah, it's so good.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Then he turns over. And then he sees this guy that's holding.
yeah. No, like he's back on the street, and yeah, then he sees the guy.
Oh yeah, he goes back out on the street. And then he's, oh, it's Snowy. And then he sees him hitting the back, and then he's like, okay, he's hitting him. I have to do something. So then he just finds a random stick out there. Yep. And then he's like, steady, cool, calm, and collected. He's coming. he's coming. So I have to. I don't know. It's just so funny when
He's
he
like-
talks to himself.
Yeah,
like,
he
"What?"
talks to himself a lot, doesn't he?
Yeah.
I know. Okay. He hits him, and he's like, "Oh, sorry." I mean, he hits another guy, not the guy that was holding the package. And
He hits a
and then-
policeman.
yeah, he
Mhm.
hits a policeman, and then the other guy, he's like, "What's going on? If I'm seen around here, I'll be picked up for sure. Beat it, Bugsy boy." I guess he's talking to himself too.
Everyone just talks
I
to themselves.
suppose. Yes.
Yeah, in my version, he's like, I must become invisible. I must not have. I cannot have my ears in the machine.
What? Okay.
Yeah.
Is that like
No, it's like
yeah.
he says like I must be invisible, else I will get my ears in the machine.
What is that like a translation thing? Like a thing that you
That's roughly translated.
Oh, okay.
No, that's like
But it's
directly
like-
translated, but yeah. Yeah.
It's like a saying in your life.
No, actually not.
Oh.
I think it might be like he's basically just saying I'll be picked up by the cops and in the police system.
Yeah. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Okay. He goes off. Tintin goes off.
Mm.
The policeman tries to shoot him, but then there's like a sword that's hanging off of a I guess sword shop.
No,
sign.
it's like a weapon shop, but
like-
isn't it weird?
Yeah.
It should be a gun shop, but he has a sword outside.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, true. So then he shoots the like string that's hanging off of the sign, and the sword hits Tintin, knocks him out. Tintin's somewhere in jail now. They just like cut to the jail scene, you know.
Yeah.
And then he's thinking about. And then I love what he said. I love what the police guy says. He's like, "You there, baby face, come with me."
Babyface.
He literally calls him baby face.
Baby gamer.
And so then they go, and then the guy's like, name and occupation, and then he says Tintin. And they know him, so he's like, oh, okay, you're free to go because you're Tintin. And then so he wants to go back to the place that he last saw the guy. He asks the questions about him. So then the policeman points him to Silvermount.
Yeah.
And then he goes there. And then a red I think he like recognizes. No, he doesn't recognize anything. He's like, oh, red Sedan. It just came out of those gates. Could
Yeah.
it be? I actually don't know what that means.
Pop was telling him like what car the guy got.
Oh yeah. Okay, sorry. So okay. We're at the gangster's place.
I think,
like-
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Is that Bobby Smiles? I don't know who that
No.
is. That's the boss. No, that's like the boss, the big boss or something, right?
Yeah. And they're like sitting at the table. With like
Yeah, and then yeah.
with like lemonade.
Oh my god, yeah. There's lemonade. Very gangstery. Okay, so he's talking about, I don't know, plans, business operations.
Wait,
Right.
no, I just realized this is the
What?
this is the headquarters of the
Yeah.
Kidnapping AS.
I
And
think it's that they intend to start a kidnapping business because like, oh, this makes
Yeah.
quite a bit of money actually.
Yeah, so no, I think that it's like just the big like kidnapping like industry or like headquarters, and then the boss is like, good job, you two. This is your third kidnapping.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, and then he explains like whatever their plan is.
Blah 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 blah.
guess.
Next picture.
And then okay, and then they go out. Boss goes out, and
No.
then he gets knocked out mysteriously. And then for some reason there are like night
Yeah.
costumes.
So it's
standing around.
like a castle, I think.
Oh really?
I think it's like
think-
a dinner or something.
Yeah, like an abandoned. I don't know.
It's something with like armors and basements.
Yeah. To be
Yeah.
fair, my family used to have a suit of armor in our living room, so
Oh,
Nice.
it's accurate. It's an American thing.
Whoa, this is Mecca.
that's the knight that used to stand in my house.
Yeah,
But it's like, you know.
yeah. That boss with like that's actually my dad. Yep, my dad works at a kidnapping factory. Kidnapping factory.
What?
Go on. Don't question.
I'm sorry. Okay, and then they're like, "Oh, looks like he had a stroke. Go get water." And then he gets knocked out, and then he goes back, and then the other guy gets knocked out, and then it turns out it was Tintin that was wearing the armor thing.
Yeah.
And then he goes, just like he just goes down the stairs because
Yeah, he doesn't tie
he's
them
looking
up.
for-
He's just like, yeah, job done.
yeah.
Job well done.
And he's looking for Snowy. And then he finds Snowy's cell, I guess.
No,
Yeah, he
it's
finds-
like this like prison, I think.
Yeah.
So there's it's like prison.
Yeah, he finds his room.
Yeah,
Room of the prison. Yeah.
Room of the prison.
Room of the. I mean, if it's like, okay, never mind. Let's
Yeah.
just not talk about it.
Room of the prison.
Stop. Okay, I'm being victimized.
Cyberbully.
Okay. Okay. He goes. Okay, he's like, "It's me, Snowy. Hang on. I'm gonna find the keys." So then he goes back, and he's like, the guy wakes up, but then Tintin knocks him out again, and then he gets the keys.
Tin actually says like, here's another sleeping pill.
He like punches him. That's all it says. No wait.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With iron glove, that must be so like
Yeah. Oh yeah.
critical strike.
And he's like, okay, here I am, Snowy. Then he gets out. No, he goes in, and then gets out.
Yeah, like there's like a sign with like quote rules for the prisoners.
Oh yeah. Oh my god.
Yourself if you're gonna be a kidnapping victim.
Yeah, if you notice any, please tell me.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh yeah. Okay. What is happening? He's around here.
Okay. So Tintin's like, oh, looks like the bandits are like they have survived my attack. So we see like this like guy that he punched out 2 times with like the sleeping pill. He's like, well, gamer guys, you'll have to find Tintin and beat him up, fuck him up, beat him up, kill him, destroy him. I don't know, somehow.
Mm-hmm.
And Tintin overhears that.
Which panel are you reading?
Shouldn't I just take over?
Yeah, sure.
I can
Okay.
take over if you want
Yeah,
me to
okay.
also.
Yeah, you can.
So Tintin's like, he hears this whistle, and he's like, oh, well, the gangsters upstairs must have woken up and raised the alarm. And Snowy makes a comment. He's like, oh, that's a nice outfit, Tintin. And so you see the gangsters, Tintin knocked out twice. He's like, well, he's around here somewhere, so you need to get him in like 10 minutes and bring him to me right now. And so they go off to find him, and Tintin's like, I better not stay here. So he he finds these doors, and above there's like signs above them, and the left door has keep written above it, and then the right one has dungeon written on above it. And so Tintin like switches the signs to comment about how he doesn't look tall enough to reach those, but whatever. And so he goes into the keep and leaves the dungeon door open. Find it, and they're like, "Oh, well, he must have gone this way." I'm like, "He's so stupid. Now he's cornered." And when Tintin like hears that they've all gone in, he locks the door behind him, and he goes back through the castle. Back to the boss guy. He's like, "It's been like half an hour, and I haven't heard anything, and it's super creepy." And Tintin appears behind him. He's like, "Hands up." So the guy's like, "I sent 15 guys after you. What did you do?" And then he's like, "Well, actually, I don't care. I just gotta save myself." So he falls through a trap door in the floor. And Tintin's like, "Oh." And so the guy gets away. And the next morning, the guy is like listening to the news, and he hears like and how he, arrested 15 guys. And so someone on the phone, he's like, "Can you take care of Tintin for me?" And the guy's like, "Yeah, sure." And so Tintin, the next morning, gets like an invite to a cannery. And Tintin's like, "Oh, that's interesting. I think I'll go." Will go, you mean? So later they're like at the plant, and the guy's like explaining how they take scrap cars and turn it into beef cans and stuff, and then he's showing Tintin how the machinery works, and it's like this full adult cow that goes into the machine.
like live cow. Like, yeah,
it's
pretty brutal. Just yeah.
So it comes out the other end as like beef squares and sausages and whatnot. And then the guy, he's like, "Hey, I'll show you like how the process works." And they climb this ladder, and they're like looking out over the grinders, and Tintin's like leaning in against the railing, and so is Snowy. And the guy giving the tour, he's like, "If you fell in there, you'd be mashed into like 1 billion pieces." And Tintin's like, "Yeah, no joke." Person giving the tour, Maurice, I guess, he like hits this button and the railing collapses, and Tintin falls in. And the guy's like, that guy calls himself a reporter and then falls for that.
You fell for the oldest book and the trick, Tintin.
So he calls the boss guy. He's like getting his money, and he's like walking away, rubbing his hands, and he sees these 2 workers, and they're like, "Hey, what are you guys doing? Who told you to stop the machines?" And they're like, "Buddy, we're on a strike." Explains that the machine hasn't been, or it was cut recently, and so he's like, "Oh crap, Tintin must be alive." And so he like goes over there to check.
The workers say, quote, the prices for the dogs, cats, and rats has been lowered that we make like meat with. It's pretty weird. Yeah. Yummy.
So he like comes out the other end of the machine. He's like, "Well, that was convenient." And so the guy comes up to him. He's like, "Oh, I'm so glad you're okay." And then he pretends like he stopped the machine after Tintin fell in. And he's like, "I'm so sorry." And Tintin's like, "No, don't worry about it. I was like spacing off or whatever." And he starts driving back, and he's like, "That guy, I think he's a fake." Maurice, he's like on the phone with the boss, explains that Tintin's still alive. And the boss gets super ticked off. He's like chewing him out. And so
Yikes. Oh my god, he's a word.
He's like cursing at this guy.
stupid man.
Mm-hmm.
You fell for the oldest book and the trick.
So yeah, while Maurice is on the phone getting chewed out, Tintin's like listening and so leaves the room, and Tintin goes in, and he calls the boss, pretending to be Maurice, and so the boss comes, and Tintin like escorts him into the room, and the boss is like, "Oh hey, what's up, Maurice?" And then you can hear him like shouting, like, "What do you mean you didn't call me? Is this a joke?" Tintin opens the door and sees that Maurice has been knocked out by the boss. Pointing his gun, he's like, "It's a mistake to leave your gun on the desk or whatever." And the guy's like, "I don't think so, because that gun's empty and I have a blade in my walking stick." So he's like, "I'm gonna stab you."
Yeah.
Yeah. Makes a stupid joke here. He's like, "He's certainly got a point."
Oh.
Comedy genius. Yeah. Can I read now?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so they're like getting this like epic like gamer fight, and Tintin like jumps on the like lamp, and he like hangs there, sits on the lamp, and falls down. Words. He falls down on top of the like boss, so he like gets knocked out. But the sword or walking stick that the boss had like flies in the air thing and hits Snowy's tail. Oh no!
Oh.
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah. So he Tintin like ties down the both the boss and the guy. What did you call him? Maurice. Something, yeah. And he like pulls them on this like little like tray. Like, no, wait. Snowy is like pulling them on this like little like wagon.
Mhm.
So there's like next picture. There's like this big meeting, with gangster meeting, and the guy standing with this PowerPoint. He's like, "We cannot take this. We will have to fight against Master Tintin." I think it's like a
Yeah.
big sentence. It's like, blah blah blah. We will not get. We will not become defeated by Tintin. Blah blah blah. What my PowerPoint dream? Yeah, and they're all like, yeah, great speech. But Tintin's like has been like invited to this party. And I think I have a theory. Now we might get some spoilers here for the next books, but like next to him when he like this guy's like talking, like having this speech, and he's like, "Tintin, that's him," and he has like been this great guy because he's defeated every like evil people, like the gangsters. Next to him, when Tintin's like he's standing up, isn't that Rastapopoulos, that guy?
Yeah, it does look like him.
Yeah.
No, it definitely is him.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But like on my books usually there's like a little star that like says this is a reference to another book, but he doesn't say anything.
Well, later on, Tintin mentions how he knows Rastapopoulos, or like, "Hey, this is the second time we've met."
Yeah,
you
and
know?
also in the next book there's like Tintin literally says, I met Rastapopoulos in America. I think.
Oh.
You will get to figure that out in the next episode when we talk about that. So remember to hit that subscribe button.
Yeah.
Imagine if that works.
Please.
Yeah, please.
I'm begging you.
We can't feed ourselves. We're homeless.
Need better microphones.
Yep. True, actually.
Hit that subscribe button.
Hit the bell and hit notifications. Tumblr and Reddit in the description. It actually is, and SoundCloud.
Yeah.
Stay
Okay.
hydrated. Yeah, so a guy like turns on off the like electricity. So it's like complete dark. But Tintin's like when the light is on again, they can't find Tintin. So he's like gone, but now he's there. That's like a role reversal. So they call the same detective from before, and he's like, he doesn't give his like big speech of like how the guy looks. So, but he takes Snowy and he's like, "Hey, Mister Dog, find Tintin." But he like the detective gets like kidnapped, probably killed, sadly, and Snowy gets caught too. And thrown down to Tintin, who's like, yeah, Tintin's like in a basement, and it's so sad.
Tintin spends a lot of time in basements.
Yeah.
In this comic.
Be fun to make like, just like off record, like call this book, the basement book.
Yeah, and it gets tied up a lot.
Yeah, basement and the tied up book. Yeah, so
he's gotten kidnapped in this book.
Yeah.
Guns aren't used very widely.
Actually, no, yeah. Yeah, so, wait, who's that guy? There's like a guy coming down to him with the ladder.
I think that's Bobby Smiles.
Do you think? But isn't he in prison?
Away, remember? Or wait, actually, yeah, I think he might be. So I think this is just a different gangster. Never mind.
Yeah, let's just call him Bobby Smiles. He might be in prison, we do not know.
Call him Bobby Smiles.
Yeah, Bobby. Yeah, he's Bobby. Yeah, so he's like, we will throw you down in Lake Michigan now. And goodbye to you. And there's like a
they're tying a weight to his ankle.
Yeah. So blah 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 blah. Yeah, so Billy, Bobby guy, yeah, he's like, oh, blah 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 blah, Tintin has been now killed. Tell this to everyone else. So then we see like on this circus a really like good guy, heavy lifter guy. He's like he shows like how strong he is with like this like weight thing he's supposed to lift. That's what you do with weights, don't you? Yeah, so he like tries to lift it, but he can't because it's way more like heavy, he says. Then we see
it's like an actual dumbbell this time.
Yeah, it's solid. But Tintin floats somehow. So my logic here.
Happened, the dumbbells have gotten switched, and so Tintin got like the fake wooden one that the strongman was using.
Yeah, so the strongman got the heavy one. Yeah, so we see this like boat which like says like police 34, and they're like, oh, look at that, that's a guy, starboard all over. Yeah, words. But he's like, well, Tintin's like to the captain, we have to call the police. There was some bandits throwing me in the river. And the captain's like, wait, aren't you Tintin? This might be a police boat, but we're actually gangsters. You fool, you fell for the oldest book in the trick. Yeah, so Tintin like takes that like breaks over the weight and hits the captain in the head with this like wooden. And he like, I think it's like sometimes changes weight because it looks like he's hitting the captain a lot harder than because since he can carry it. Yeah. Then he plays like bowling.
I think he's just sweet.
Yeah,
basically the same as a baseball bat. So
yeah. So he plays like bowling with the other like crew members, and so they like fall down.
He says bowling.
He says a picture of bowling. So he goes into the drive, and he's like, "You will take me to the nearest police station." and he like carries like that weight still, like it's nothing. Oops. And so he carries that weight, and last page, blah 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 blah. 355 gangsters has been arrested. Blah 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 blah. So great. The entire American continent is so happy because of Tintin. And there's like this huge parade for Tintin because he's actually so great. And there's like horses and
Stopped all the gangsters in Chicago.
yeah. So Tintin like gets on board the boat, and it's like dude goes off, and the end.
What?
What are you laughing at?
What?
You okay?
What is it?
I'm sorry. Stupid. And laughing at the
What are you laughing at?
What?
You can't just laugh and not tell us. Come on.
I'm sorry. I'm laughing at the toot
That.
thing. Cause
Wait,
I'm
where?
sorry.
I think
Oh
I-
my god. I'm like 5 years old. What am I doing?
Where?
the steam train. Or not the train, the boat.
The boat farts.
Really?
I'm sorry.
It just says toot.
I know, but the way you said it makes it so much more funny.
Toot.
I'm sorry.
Okay. Yeah, that's it. What a book. We can also
So what
call
are you
this.
guys' thoughts?
I think this is a pretty weird book since he's in the city, but he's also like out in the country with like the chief and that. But the tied down basement toot book.
Yeah, here's really like a thing for tied up people. I'm just gonna say that out of context.
I'm gonna take that completely out of context and editing. Thank you.
Put that on a t-shirt. Yeah, yes, something for tied up people.
Personally, I thought it was really fun. Like, it was just a really fun and goofy adventure.
Yeah.
Stories that Hergé did, I think that one's my favorite.
Yeah, it's really like when I first read it, I was really frustrated by how lucky Tintin got.
Yeah.
I know.
Like the number of times he got lucky was just so I was just like, he should not be this lucky.
Yeah.
It's because he's a protagonist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Protagonist power.
Yeah. I like take like these three first books that we've read. It's like something else than the rest of the series because like they seem a little more normal, like how it would be. Except you aren't so lucky.
They seem a little bit more like out there, if you know what I mean.
Yeah,
Just in terms
realistic.
of-
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, good book. I thought that actually on the cover because it looks like it's like the chief and like some tents, and he's tied up with the cowboy outfit. I thought it would be he would be a lot more out there, on the
Yeah.
but he actually isn't.
The downside
Well, I
is
mean-
it's a bit racist.
I-
Especially in the Indian part.
I guess like some of the listeners would actually probably think that it's more racist because I couldn't find a proper translation, so I called them natives and redskins.
Well, it's not you, it's the book. It's
No,
just,
like
it's
no, like my translation. Like, what do you actually call that?
I think you're just
You just call them Native Americans.
No,
alright, yeah.
Danish would call them like Indianer.
Indians
No, actually, I don't know.
or just that. Oh,
Yeah, I don't
I
know.
don't know.
Yeah,
So yeah, it's a bit racist, and the storytelling is a bit choppy.
yeah,
Like yeah,
but it's
but
yeah,
Overall, it's a really fun story.
yeah,
yeah,
it's fun. Yeah, other than the downsides, it's really good.
yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, yeah. So that was the. I'm going to do the outro because it was special. Yeah. So
Okay.
that was the Tintin in America, patriotic country. Make sure to hit that subscribe button. Yeah. Yeah, hopefully the sound wasn't as bad as not previous. Yeah. Tumblr, Reddit, SoundCloud links are in the description. Make sure to like, subscribe, comment if you like how we how we talk. Thanks for watching. Not watching. Weird if you watched this. But yeah. Thank you so much. Sorry for so many is. Goodbye. Wait, no, I was joined by Mecha.
Yep.
Yep. And Melkai.
Hey.
Hey. Yeah. See you next week. We upload every Wednesday. See you outside, gamers.